guys? Kevin Pervasi here to talk sports with you again. Yesterday, coming off a big Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Patriots, nail-biter down to the finish, 41-33, the Eagles win. Remarkable game. Hardly any defense played at all. The most yards ever in any game, regular season or postseason in the NFL history. Crazy. Nick Foles put on a show. 350 plus yards passing, a few TDs, the one pick. Brady, as miraculous as ever, 505 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Man, it was a shootout to the end. Patriots never punted. Eagles punted once, and finally at the end of the day, the Eagles were able to pull it off. A lot of storylines coming out of the game. One, and I think the most important thing that we see from the Eagles is they played this game aggressive. They played to win the entire way. They set the tone early in the game that they weren't going to just try and hang in there and be cautious throughout the game. They go for it on 4th down, 4th and goal at the 1 to end the half. The great trick play to Nick Foles there. The reverse pass with Burton thrown it to Foles. Gutsy play call there by Doug Peterson. But, man, it paid dividends. As I was saying earlier last week, the only way you're going to beat this Patriots team is if you're aggressive and you play to win. And the Eagles last night played to win the entire game. And honestly, the Eagles dominated this game it felt like for the entire game they were dominating. And still somehow in the 4th quarter it was 33-32 Patriots after all that the Eagles had done. Is a testament to how great Tom Brady was last night. He was his star receiver, Brandon Cooks, in the first half, out for the game with a big concussion there. Horrible hit. Hope he's doing all right. But loses the star receivers down to Amendola, Hogan, guy they got from the Colts midseason, and Phil Dorsett and Gronkowski, and Brady just put on a show. 505 yards passing. And I know there's a lot of people coming out today and be like, oh my gosh, the Patriots dynasty is over. Look, Brady played as great of a game as I've ever seen a quarterback play. He's going to be fine at 40. He's arguably still the best quarterback in this league, and you really can't count him out at this point. But going back to the Eagles game, they stayed aggressive. In the 4th quarter, I believe they're down 33-32, ball thrown 45 or so, and they have a 4th and 1. Rather than punt the ball back to the Patriots, who hadn't stopped all day, Peterson makes the gutsy call, goes for a 4th down, and they convert. And they keep moving, they drive down the field and score. But really, at that time, that was a call Peterson had to make. They hadn't stopped Brady all day, and giving the ball back to Brady in that scenario, I think you lose the game at that point. And while many are going to say, like, well, if he hadn't gotten it, it would have been a horrible decision. Either way, the Eagles' mindset was to try and win this game, not to play, not to lose. And that play and the play at the end of the second half, or in the first half, I think perfectly demonstrated that. And again, Jacksonville a couple weeks ago played the second half not to lose. Brady brings back the Patriots, wins the game. The Eagles, instead of letting up, and once they get the lead, just trying to milk the clock, they played to win. They kept pushing, kept trying to score, and they put up 41 points against one of the best defenses in the league. It's just incredible. Bill Belichick's in a great defensive mind, always has the players prepared, but the Eagles are still up to put up 41 points with a backup quarterback, Nick Foles, who, I don't know if you guys watched how much you guys were watching, but Nick Foles made some incredible throws. He was threading the needle. The perfect pass to Corey Clement in the end zone in triple coverage. That's got to be one of the better throws I've seen ever. Places that perfectly. Now, I still don't know what's a catch nowadays. The Clement, it looked like a catch to me, but I could see where people would say it's not. The Zach Ertz touchdown at the end, thankfully they called that a catch. I was really worried they were going to call that an incomplete pass. The NFL has got to do something about this catch rule. They need to make it a little bit more clear and redefine what a catch is, because those were 2 huge pivotal moments, and if they had gone the other way, we might be celebrating a Patriots victory right now. So it's something the NFL really has to look at moving forward to make sure that big moments aren't decided by the referees and they're decided by the players on the field. Fortunately, both teams weren't taken out of the game because of those plays, and they each had a chance to compete and come back. And what was craziest of all to me is last night, offensive showdown, hardly any defensive stops, one punt, but the biggest play of the game comes on a sack fumble with 2 minutes left. The Eagles defense, not stopping Brady all day, finally conjures up some magic, knocks the ball out of Brady's hands, and then they're fortunate enough to kick the field. But what's crazy is, I don't know about you guys, but watching that down the stretch, it felt to me that Brady was going to come back. Even down 8, it felt like he was going to pull out a rabbit out of his hat, and he was going to lead him down to a touchdown. I think that's just a testament to how great Brady is. You know, even though backs against the wall, no timeouts, at his own 10-yard line. If you look at that entire Eagles sideline, they were nervous. They were worried. They knew what this guy can do on the other side. And man, Brady, what a performance! And he's robbed today of a conversation about an historic Super Bowl performance. And really, this is another testament to him being the greatest quarterback of all time. I know his team loses the game, but he didn't make a mistake all night. I mean, yes, he did have the sack fumble at the end, but you can only ask one guy to do so much throughout the course of a game. A lot of miscues for the Patriots, and this field goal, and other things that have occurred throughout the game. They missed a lot of opportunities, left a lot of points on the board. Just not something you can do if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, especially with a team as talented as the Eagles. And going on the other side, Nick Foles proving the doubters wrong. Man, I did not expect that he would be able to do that against a Bill Belichick coach team. Bill Belichick always tries to take away the best aspect of your offense, and the Patriots weren't able to take away anything blunt. And Ajayi ran wild against that defense. Foles is threading the needle left and right, and he squeezed the ball into tight windows all across that secondary. Great performance by him, and it'll be interesting to see what the Eagles do next year with him and Wentz. I mean, I think you got to turn hand the job back over to Wentz, but Foles earned himself a lot of money last night. He's going to get a big contract from somebody in the future, especially as quarterback needy of a league as we are in. And what a great story. You know, everyone counts the Eagles out. They're an underdog in all 3 of their playoff games, and they win the Super Bowl. Not something that occurs often at all. And really, they came together as a team, and they played to win all last night, and it paid off. It took a lot of risk, but it worked out for them. Obviously, after the game, a lot of talk about, is this Patriots dynasty over? Oh my gosh, the world's coming down. Well, guys, at the end of the day, it was a 1-possession game late, and if it weren't for a couple plays that just went the Eagles' way, converted 4th down here, the sack fumble there, we might be talking about the Patriots winning a 2nd Super Bowl in a row, winning their 6th in the last 18 years. Brady looked as good as he's ever been, and it's just crazy what these guys can do. I mean, it looks like their defense had some holes last night. They weren't able to stop anybody. And I think one of the bigger stories last night is the absence of Malcolm Butler. He's arguably the Patriots' best defensive player, and for whatever reason, Bill Belichick didn't play him throughout the entire game, except for on special teams. I think there'll probably be more to that story coming out in the next couple of days, but you have a guy that is that important to your defense, who's made plays in the biggest stage, intercepting Russell Wilson in the end zone a few years ago to seal the Super Bowl, and you're not having him on the field. I get that Belichick is all about having a neat and tidy organization, and wants to make sure his players are disciplined. But on the biggest stage, did Butler really do something that was bad enough where he couldn't have played? I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the next week or so what actually happened, because I'm sure it'll come out. But if you're the Patriots, you gotta wonder, if Butler had been out there, is he able to hold Alshon Jeffrey in check on those the big touchdown early, or is he able to stop some of those crossing routes? Maybe he closes the windows a little bit that Foles was trying to throw into, and all of a sudden, instead of the Eagles getting a couple touchdowns, the Eagles have a couple more 3 and outs. I mean, that Patriots secondary is great when you have Malcolm Butler in there, and there's still a decent secondary without him in there. But he's one of the best corners in the league for a reason, and not having him in the field surely cost them last night. And man, if you're a Patriots fan, I don't know how you can justify not having him out on the field. Obviously, he was distraught about it after the game and had some remarks saying he didn't understand why he wasn't on the field. But I mean, it goes back to Malcolm Butler too. Whatever you did or whatever he did, he should have known to stay disciplined in this time and understanding who his coach is. He let down his teammates, the fans, his teammates, his coaches. Whatever the issue was, him not being on the field was crucial in the Eagles winning this game. But that's to take nothing away from what the Eagles did. They controlled this game, start to the finish. They played to win, and still the Patriots had a chance. But one of the great performances I've ever seen. Thoroughly enjoyed the game. For the most part, officials stayed out of the way. I mean, there were a couple crucial calls with the catch, no catch, but great performance by Foles again. And wow, I can't believe that Brady threw for 500 yards and they still lost. What more could that man do? He tried to put the team on his back, and at the end, he can't play defense for him too. I mean, everyone's gonna point to the drop pass that he had, but I mean, outside of that, Brady was perfect. He did everything his team needed to win, and they come up just short. And I think they'll be back next year. Both these teams look set for the future. I mean, there's some talk that Gronk could potentially retire, especially with all the injuries going on. I don't know if I buy that. He's only 28, and I don't think any player wants to retire with this taste in their mouth, losing the Super Bowl, especially a team as good as the Patriots, knowing you have Tom Brady and Belichick. Now, if Belichick or Brady leaves after this year, okay, maybe Gronk thinks out a little bit more. Does he want to come back if he's not going to be with Belichick or Brady or vice versa? So it'll be interesting how that plays out. But this Eagles team, all their star players signed through the next couple of seasons. Fletcher Cox, Carson Wentz, Alshon Jeffrey. So there's a great offensive line up front. These teams are going to be around well into the future, and it'll be interesting to see how well Carson Wentz can. If Nick Foles was able to do this in the Super Bowl, I think Carson Wentz is a better quarterback personally. What could he have done on the stage, or what will he do in the coming years with that offensive line and that defense? It'll be great storylines going into next season. And, I mean, there's a lot going on. The Patriots have lost both their offensive and defensive coordinators now to new jobs. They're going through a lot of flux right now, a lot of changes occurring in that organization. Now we'll see if they hold on to Bill Belichick with the rumors of the feud between him and Kraft and Brady, and kind of the growing apart of the three. But if I had to bet money, all three will be back with the Patriots next year. And the Patriots are going to make another run. When we count them out in September every year, it feels like, and still they turn it on and make a run to the Super Bowl. And again, this year make it to the Super Bowl. It's incredible what they've done over the last 20 years, and specifically over the last 4 years. I think 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. They've won 2 of them. They are consummate pros, professionals, day in and day out, and they win at a top-notch level. And hats off to them for a great performance. But Eagles, we deserve this one. Enjoy this one. Philly, Nick Foles, what a performance. And Philly, enjoy this win. Crazy game by the Eagles. Hope you guys enjoyed Super Bowl 52. I'll be back to talk more sports with you guys later, but those are my thoughts on the Super Bowl. Thanks.